Rabbi, we had a question. We were talking yesterday, and you cleared it up. He said, "What's happening in Israel?" He says that some of the wives, after the husband passes away, the kids, they're impregnating themselves with the sperm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, he says it's sewer, but then even if they did it, the question is there yibum or not?
Right.
Because at the moment of death, there is, but now they have their zera in them, so what would they?
But of course, the halakha is the halakha.
He says, yeah.
That's
He said,
the moment of death.
He says, yeah, they are.
Everything depends on the word. He says here that Rabbi Wheeler, we have here a rabbi from Israel. He says some widows are using the sperm of the husband after he died to impregnate themselves. That's if they didn't have children before. So they need boom chalitza. Can you imagine? Take the Gemara Megillah in front of you, Daf Bet Amud Aleph. This is the first Mishnah in Masechet Megillah. The Mishnah begins, Daf Bet Amud Aleph, Megillah Bet Amud Aleph. Megillah nikret, originally when Chachamim established the mitzvah of reading the Megillah, Beyud Aleph, Beyud Bet,
the first page,
Beyud Gimal, Beyud Aleph V'Tetvav. Lo pachot v'lo yoter. Not earlier than the 11th, and not later than the 15th. So of course, 15th is only for the cities who are walled from the time of Yehoshua. Kerachim amukafim choma mimot Yehoshua binun. Korim betetvav. This is like today, like Yerushalayim, Jaffa, certain places in Tiberia. This is definitely 15. Kfarim v'ayarot gedolot, regular villages or large cities. Korim b'Yudalet, this is us. Ela, but שהכפרים מקדימים ליום הכניסה, which means in order to make it easier and small communities that cannot be in the city on the 14th, so Chachamim allow them the Monday or Thursday before to read the Megillah. So let's take an example. The Mishnah, we're not going to read the entire Mishnah, but the concept. Ketzad. Chali Yod Yudalet B'Sheni. The 14th of Adar is on Monday. Kefarim v'hayarot gedolot korim bo b'yom. This is
On the day.
on the day, Monday. Umukafot chomar lemachar. Everyone can come in, even those villagers that normally are not in town, but Monday and Thursday, they used to come in either because the courts used to sit in every community Monday or Thursday, or because they came in for Kriyat Torah. So since this is a Monday, everyone is covered. Let's say Chale Yod B'Shlishi. If Purim falls on a Tuesday or Wednesday, the small communities, Magdimim Yom HaKnisa, they read on Monday. So let's say the Purim is on Tuesday. They read yesterday, Monday, which is the 13th. If Purim is on Wednesday, they read on Monday. This is the 12th. Okay. Look at second in Rashi. Look at the Rashi on top. שהכפרים מקדימים ליום הכניסה. כלומר, מאחר שהמוקפים, the walled cities, קוראים בט"ו, ושאין מוקפים, קוראים בי"א, הרי הכל, everything is included. איך היא משכחת, where would you have a case of 11, 12, and 13. Listen carefully, Rashi sums up. אלא שהכפרים נתנו להם חכמים רשות, חכמים gave them permission to read earlier, יום שני בשבת, on a Monday, remember if י"ד, let's say it's Wednesday or Tuesday, או חמישי בשבת, שהוא יום כניסה. What does it mean יום כניסה? שהכפרים, the villagers, מתכנסים לעיירות למשפט. The 2 days the judges used to assemble was Monday and Thursday, but the villagers are coming to the town anyway. כתקנת עזרא.
How many people has court cases? I mean, why is it something so common? Like one person, two person comes to court, but
In every community.
not so many people
We
go
live
there.
in a non-religious community. This shot, that's the only non-religious. Most of our cases we go to American courts, right? Hundreds of questions that everyone should ask every day, but we know what to do.
Rabbi Prague, can you put down the talk? It's hard. Thank you.
If you go to market, they
Remember
understand.
regular disputes, a dispute in the business. Ask the rabbi how many questions does he get
Every
a
day.
week? Not only every day many.
No, but was it a market day also? Monday, Thursday, was it a
In
market
a
day?
minute, yeah, what you remember is
Yeah.
that Joseph, we're not talking about big cases. Regular disputes between
Small claims court,
neighbors,
small claims
small
court.
claims.
Not the whole town goes, every small town goes to the court, they have the issue Mondays and
No,
Thursdays.
definitely not the entire town. But since the people are coming to town anyway, wait a second, wait. You listen carefully what Rashi says now. והכפרים אינם בקיאים לקרוא. The villagers in general didn't know how to read. וצריכים, listen good now, שיקראנה להם אחד מבני העיר. This is a tremendous חידוש of Rashi. The Ran totally disagrees, but Rashi says that when they come into town, one of the people from the town is reading for them, even though he is not chayav that day. Remember, he is a member of Tzfat. The villagers near Tzfat are coming on Monday.
Tzfat resident reads it.
Not
Not a
the
local
Tzfat
resident.
resident is reading for
Not a
them.
local
The Ran disagrees with it. The Ran says he cannot read it for
She's
them.
not
Yes,
hayab.
I have a chiyuv.
You see in a minute.
Interesting.
אבל רש"י openly says, והכפרים אינם בקיאים לקרוא, וצריכים שיקראנה להם אחד מבני העיר, ולא יטריחום חכמים להתאחר ולבוא ביום י"ד. חכמים didn't want Joseph. This is indirectly the answer to Joseph's question. Of course, Joseph is right. Not every villager comes to town on a Monday or Thursday, but Chachamim did not want to burden those who come twice. ופעמים שיום הכניסה ביום י"ג. So first of all, this concept that a city who was walled in the time of Yeshua, the time of Yeshua was 700 years before the temple, before the days of Purim. How does Yeshua
What's the
fall into
connection?
the story?
Yeah, why? Why is
Here
the
are cities who are walled in the time of Yeshua.
Rambam has an answer. Cover the hearts.
Says the Ramban, the Ran brings the Ramban. Every miracle that we celebrate, every holiday that we celebrate, including Hanukkah, is connected to Israel. Purim is not. Purim happened in Chutz La'aretz. In order to connect the celebration to Israel, they decided that those cities were walled cities at the time of Yeshua. How does the walled city fall into the picture at all?
Yeah.
Shushan, the capital city where the miracle really took place, where Hashvarosh was a walled city.
Yesiat Mitzrayim is outside
What?
Israel. Yesiat Mitzrayim miracle is outside Israel.
Right.
so because of the wall, Shushan was wall, therefore they chose walled
Shushan is
cities
walled.
in Israel.
So we have to make
Make
a
a
special note on the walled cities.
Wall.
So we decided already to. So Joseph is asking, Yetziat Mitzrayim is before. It's a very good question. There was no nation. The Jewish people didn't exist yet. became a nation. We are talking after we were established as a nation. We said this morning, Joseph. בצאת ישראל ממצרים, בית יעקב מעמוס, הייתה יהודה לקודשו. What does it mean, הייתה יהודה לקודשו? We were chosen to be a nation in יציאת מצרים, and 49 days later we got our constitution. Constitution is Matan Torah. So after we were established as a nation, now let's see, let's look at the Shulchan Aruch a second. The Shulchan Aruch brings this halacha. Let's look.
487 again.
Of Aleph. Jojo gave it to me.
Sorry.
I think I throw you under the bus. I'm on
Sorry.
right now.
I think we have four. We have, so Eli, you look with him, we have four Chalak. Look a second, Siman Taf Reish Peichet. 688, Orach Chaim. 688, Taf Reish Peichet. It's almost all the way there, and David, all the way there. You paid the last topic Shulchan Aruch discusses is Megillah.
About 10 pages from the back. Well, you have to go further for the front. Half fish.
No.
David, take it.
This is ours.
Okay, so it's a long one also.
I'll give that back to the rabbi.
Anyway, Shulchan Aruch, it's funny, yesterday we had 6 before
Everything in the shul has legs.
miracles happen.
Has legs. Has legs. The wash cups have
Yeah. Who wants a wash cup?
She was coming this morning, George, to clean the room with flowers. And,
Yeah, it's a big mess here.
look and see if I כרכים המוקפים חומה ממות יהושע בן נון. Those cities who are walled, well walls, אפילו אינם מוקפים עכשיו. Jerusalem doesn't have a wall. קוראים בט"ו, אפילו הם בחוץ לארץ. Interestingly enough, we don't know today history enough to know
Which walls, cities
which
outside of Israel.
cities outside of Israel were walled. But Jerusalem, we do know Jaffa, we know part, and Tiberia, we know. Because the Gemara and Tanakh mentions them.
Wasn't Jericho, did Jericho have a wall too?
But the question is, yeah, good. But Jericho, those who, there's no
But it
Jews.
came down. So
Yeah,
we
Jews-
count,
no, it's just theoretically speaking, if you have a Jewish community in Jericho today, of course they'll be in the 15.
When they used to go to the casino on Purim, so for sure they had.
He says, ואפילו אין בהם 10 בטלנים, even if the city doesn't have a designated place for 10 people to be available for minyan. והוא, okay, this is the Gemara, שהוקף ואחר כך ישב. Those cities became walled cities before the community moved in, because then normally people don't move to a place where it's not secure. You wall the city, או שישב בתחילה, or when the community was established, על דעת להקיפו אחר כך, had in mind to have a wall after. Okay, fine. Now listen to this. Asked Joseph, which part of Jerusalem really was a walled city? He had a good tour guide. A small part of the old city had a wall, right?
The old city.
I lived in no, but not the entire old city. Remember, we're talking about the time of Yeshua. Time of Yeshua, half of the size of the city today.
Right.
People that live today in Rehavia, people that live in Beit Vegan, People that live all over Yerushalayim, how come they live in the 15th? Those communities were definitely not walled. So listen to the next line. וכן, הכפרים הנראים עמהם. Which means every community, when you stand in the old city and you look to east, west, north, and south, whatever you can see counts as Yerushalayim. As far as Kiryat HaMegillah. Remember, today we have high rises and etc. But on a regular day, if you flatten all of them, yes. The only place that they had some questions was Ramot. If you know Ramot is on a mountain pretty far from Yerushalayim. Some people read it twice. Look a second.
But that wouldn't be for Trumas and Meisters or other,
Right.
that's only
Yeah, but Tumas and Meisers in the Eretz Yisrael, you mean Meiser Sheni.
Meister Sheni.
וכן הכפרים הנראים עמהם, אפילו אינם סמוכים, even if they are not so close distance-wise, כגון שהם בהר. If they are on a mountain, might be far, או שסמוכים להם, אפילו אינם נראים עמהם. This is an interesting case. When you stand near the court and you see the Arab communities down the valley,
Yeah.
you cannot really see it with the naked eye unless you're looking. In the time of the Beit HaMikdash, since distance-wise are considered karov, you read al Tetvav, even though you cannot
Not
see.
visual, but the
So
distance.
remember the name in the Mishnah is Smuchim or Nir'im. Nir'im, if they can be seen, even though there is a distance, because they're on top of the mountain, or Smuchim, distance-wise are near Yerushalayim, אפילו אינם נראים עמהם כגון שהם בעמק, ובלבד, see this is a big, ובלבד שלא יהיו רחוקים יותר ממיל.
Oh, distance is a maximum?
So many years ago, which means 120 years ago, you know today the entrance to Yerushalayim. When you enter Yerushalayim, this used to be the edge of the community. So some people used to read Yudar and Tetvav because this is, remember it. But today, Halacha L'Maaseh, I mean, Beit Vegan, on the hill, near our Herzl. I mean, this is 5 miles from 5 miles, American miles. Still, we read there on Tetvav. Ramot is a safek. This is a בלבד שלא יהיו רחוקים יותר ממי. ובשושן, אף על פי שאינה מוקפת חומה ממות יהושע, listen good now. The capital city of Ahasuerus, in the time of Yeshua, was not a walled city. Since the main miracle happened in Shushan, we read in Shushan, הואיל ונעשה בו נס.
I don't think they could get a minion there.
Now here is the real question. So today, Tel Aviv, Bnei Brak, Haifa, Tzfat, read like us. Yerushalayim reads Tetvav. Very often you have relatives or friends. What happens if you go both places? When are you becoming Chayav and Tetvav? Well, what?
Yeah, I remember learning the Gemara asked that question. What's that was in both places? Is he learned here, and now he went to a walled city that same day.
Oh, many, but especially today that you have car. You have a car. Someone celebrated Purim in Tel Aviv,
and then he drove to
and he drives out.
Yerushalayim,
He drives in the afternoon. He drives to come to Yerushalayim. When does he become Chayav?
Doesn't matter where he lives or where he's sitting.
Oh,
When he woke up?
so he's asking that.
What's your place of residence or you just visiting?
Right, place of residence or
When he
not?
woke up.
So the conclusion is going to be has nothing to do with place of residence. It's the place that you are in the morning of Purim. What did you have in mind to have a look at the Shulchan Aruch?
So why can't you say that somebody comes from Chutz La'aretz and is in Eretz Yisrael for Pesach? I know it's a daraisa, but why can't you use the same?
Okay, because the question here, how was it established?
Oh.
How was it established? He's asking a good question. Why don't we say the same by Yom Tov?
So why do we read it in the small town 2 days before? Because it's a day in the big town. So like it's not that they're going to the
Remember,
big town.
there's a Chachamim. We didn't go into, but there are 2 reasons. We accommodated them for 2 reasons. One reason is they used to supply, the villagers used to supply fresh produce, vegetables and fruit all year round. So to allow them to bring it on Purim also, or the way Rashi says, because it's a small community, we cannot really
But you
burden.
see, what I think you're learning from this all through it is that the mitzvah, because if I read the Rambam correctly, it looks like the Bnei Akfarim celebrated the rest of the Chag on the 14th. So it seems like what they're trying to do is they're trying to show that the Kriya of the Megillah is so important that you make it earlier. And so the mitzvah, otherwise they would do it on the 14th.
What he's referring to is, let's say I'm a villager and I read it on a Monday, which is 2 days before Purim.
You do the other thing on Purim.
Did you eat the meal that day also?
No, you do it according to the Rambam. I think you do it on the 14th.
Gemara, it's a Gemara. You read the Rambam is a Gemara, but the Shulchan Aruch
If I knew
does
that.
not talk about it because this halakha doesn't apply today. Yes, this halakha doesn't apply today.
But where do they read it? They read it in a small town if they don't know how to read it.
So,
They can try to
according to
devise
Rashi, a member from the town came to the small village, or when the villagers came into town, yes.
Somebody read
See,
it.
the question is to ask here is directly asking each other. Let's say those who didn't come into town, so they read it on the 14th. Who read it for them? Rashi is saying that they don't know how to read, yes?
Oh.
Who read it for them?
But we gave the reason of the court being open on Monday. So now, if everybody's going on Monday, then let them do it on Monday in that. Why are they? So do you understand my question? Why are they reading in the small town?
We cannot change the halachic status of the big city because of 50 families, 20 families, yes?
But it's more interesting to what your question before, which I don't think you answered, is
I'm coming back to
the Baal Koreh.
Who
Interesting.
read for them? Who
Baal
read for them?
Koreh, right.
The Ran strongly disagrees with Rashi. The Ran openly
What's that
says,
say? You have to have a piyuv to read?
the Ran, Rabbi Akiva Eger, if you have the Mishnayot, Rabbi Akiva Eger brings it. Rabbi Akiva Eger says, ובתוספות יבמות כתבו, בשם הירושלמי, the Ben Hir, a member of the city,
It's the big city.
Bracha.
I live in Yerushalayim and I happen to be in Tel Aviv the night of Purim, of Tel Aviv Purim. Yerushalmi says, I cannot read for them either. It is, because my obligation is 15, not 14. I'm in Tel Aviv the night of the 14th, 12 o'clock, I'm going back to Jerusalem, which means that in the morning I'm not going to be there. Yes?
Right.
ותוספות יבמות כתבו, ובן עיר אינו יכול להוציא אותם, במקרה אינו מחויב בדבר. וכן כתב הר"ן, עיר, ואחד מהכפר היה קורא אותם. You know this? The Ran says, unlike Rashi, the villager used to read it for the villagers.
So really, the Ran is saying, Berovam Hadrat Melech, you're trying to make sure there's enough big people, because otherwise he could have read in the house. He could have read in the kfar.
Correct, but he is saying that a man from the city accommodated the people in the small communities.
How do you do that?
Because this is okay, I have no idea.
Depends on is it where you live or where you are? Also, and also has to do with the morning. The morning is a determinant as well. The night before is one
So
thing,
listen,
the morning is another.
Rabbi Akiva Eger wonders, how can Rashi really say, yes, that they are coming into town and one of the town is reading it for them in the town? He is not chayav. Listen good to what he says. ואפשר, perhaps, למה שכתב רש"י והברטנורה, שיקרא אחד מבני העיר, listen good to what he says, היינו שיהי מקריא, והם עולים אחריו מילה במילה. You know what he says? He didn't read them. They don't know the language, they don't know the tune. So he reads, ויהי בימי אחשוורוש, and they repeat, ויהי בימי אחשוורוש. Realize?
So the one who's doing the first reciting, he's just not hayav. He's just.
But wait a minute. So what about the bracha? What about the bracha before? Who makes the?
They, according to this, they definitely have. You know what he says? Before the Megillah, you have a bracha.
Yeah.
According to Rashi, normally you learn that the one in town is making the bracha, and he reads it for them.
No, in this
If
case.
Rabbi Akiva Eiger tells us that they're really reading themselves,
Helping them say it
of course they said the
Help us,
bracha
help
for
them say
themselves.
it.
Of course they
Ah.
said the bracha. See, this concept is a very important concept. Why? In Siman Reisha and Aleph in Chod Kiddush, there is the following case. The father is on a business trip Friday night. The kid in the house is 12, he's not 13. He cannot make Kiddush for his mother. The mother is really not, doesn't know how to read well. What should you do? So Rabbi Akiva Eiger says exactly the
He
same.
could
Let him,
help the
hear
mother
this,
say it.
make Kiddush for himself and a cup of wine. His mother has another cup of wine.
She's saying the
She
words with it.
repeats after him. Exactly the same
Yeah,
kind
but it's similar to Birkat Hamazon. If I can't say Birkat Hamazon, I'm listening to somebody saying to me word by word, it counts for me.
Right. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The Kiddush here is
Oh, because I
we
hear
learn
yeah.
learn a Mishnah,
Yeah.
and the Mishnah is telling us that the rabbis are, you have to run, the rabbis are lenient. And Rabbi Akiva Eiger says lenient only coming to town to be assisted. We have to bring tomorrow more Mishnah Berurah, we do it all the time. Have a wonderful day, Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov.
Good Chodesh.
We're going to talk about
Chodesh Yaakov.